The doors are quickly closing on EA's BioWare, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, we had a story that an insider sent to Grumps and Smash JT about studios closing down, such as the Edmonton studio. Allegedly, it will be closing in February. Well, now we got an update, and this is a breaking update, even though people like Jeff Grubb, they're just adamant to make sure that us rage bait right-wing grifters are just absolutely wrong with our sources, right? Well, Electronic Arts posted a blog today officially announcing that they would be doing some restructuring at BioWare, also known as laying people off. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and laugh and poke fun about people losing their jobs, but this is all coming off the heels of Coring Bush leaving BioWare after a senior editor that was there for 15 years has left BioWare. When people start leaving, especially people with seniority, that's a red flag that things are happening. Some people try to say Bush leaving is just typical of directors at studios. They go from project to project. Cope and seethe. All right, so this is BioWare, who brought out Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which is no longer being supported. They just announced the other day that they are no longer going to be supporting it with any kind of quality of life updates or any kind of patches unless there's a game-breaking bug. There's no DLC or expansions planned. And now there's this blog post. So now they're planning on entirely focusing on the upcoming Mass Effect. And there's some vocabulary here that doesn't outright say they're firing people, but we know the truth here. So you can see this is a BioWare Studio update posted today from the general manager, Gary McKay, that says, "Hello, everyone. Today we're turning towards the future and preparing for the next chapter in BioWare's story. As we announced in August 2023, we are changing how we build games to meet the needs of our upcoming projects and hold ourselves to the highest quality standards." Sure. Highest quality standards, my foot. How did Veilguard do? You struggled to sell enough copies. They failed to meet their expectations for sales for Veilguard, so don't even try to hide that you're providing highest quality standards and stuff. This is typical corpo speak right here. They go on to say, now that Dragon Age of Veilguard has been released, a core team at BioWare is developing the next Mass Effect game under the leadership of veterans from the original trilogy, including Mike Gamble, Preston Watumanek, probably butchered that name, Derek Watt, Parrish Lay, and others. So a handful of leadership veterans from the original Mass Effect trilogy. They're all in on Mass Effect right now. In keeping with our fierce commitment to innovating during the development and delivery of Mass Effect, we have challenged ourselves to think deeply about delivering the best experience to our fans. We are taking this opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work at BioWare. So imagine being an employee and reading this. We're taking the opportunity between full development cycles to reimagine how we work at BioWare. I would already be like, man, oof, I'm out. I'm in the doghouse. I'm getting fired. I got to find a new job. And this affects people that weren't buying into the woke style, to the DEI. Imagine just going and working hard at your job, and because the DEI infection ruined Veilguard and caused your studio to close down, and you didn't want anything to do with it. You were just trying to feed your family. Given the stage of development, we don't require support from the full studio. You see this? We don't require full support from the full studio. That means they're firing people, guys. We have incredible talent here at BioWare, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. So the ones that had open roles, what about the ones that don't? People are getting fired, guys. People are getting fired. They don't need the full studio's power. Today's news will see BioWare become a more agile, focused studio that produces unforgettable RPGs. We appreciate your support as we build a new future for BioWare. So, yeah. Why do they always try to sound optimistic and positive whenever they make something out like that? Whenever they put a post out there, it's like, oh, the future of this, and we strive for high quality, and we're going to have roles be made redundant. And that's like nice ways of saying, guys, we don't need you anymore. You're gone. We're losing money. We have to restructure. We can't pay you no more. Why don't they just tell the truth? You have hardworking individuals at these companies that fall victim to your lack of competence, that fall victim to people that operate at BioWare, like Bush, that blame the failure of Veilguard on a hate campaign. They just can never say the truth. They just can never be honest. They're being reassigned to other projects, but what about all the other ones that are going to be potentially let go due to redundancy, due to their jobs being terminated, right? Dragon Age Veilguard was officially a flop. A flop. And now Mass Effect is what they're focusing on. They're not going to do any updates. They don't need a staff to do support for Veilguard. And sure, they're going to have veterans working on Mass Effect, but this transition doesn't need the full studio, right? It just means a portion of the studio's workforce is no longer required. So how many people is that going to be? 20, 30, 40, 50, 100? Who knows? Now, EA has not disclosed exact numbers, like we said, and some of these employees probably have already been moved around into new roles. I know they already said some short time ago, maybe like a month ago, that Mass Effect was already in development and they moved people over there. But we've also heard recently from Smash and Grump's source that the Edmonton office of BioWare will be shutting down soon. The alleged rumor is in February. So we're just a couple of days away from seeing if this is going to be happening or not, because Jeff Grubb, who stole all the credit, claims that it's not true. So BioWare kind of wrote this whole thing kind of awkwardly. I know in Smash's article that he wrote on his website, he says they worded it in a way that makes it look like they haven't let anyone go, but that it's suspicious in how they're tiptoeing around it so delicately. Like they're putting people down easily instead of just being honest. Instead of being honest with your current employees and being honest with everybody that's involved with you, right? It's almost like they're trying to rip the Band-Aid off slowly, because there's probably going to be a massive layoff here in February. And then again, like I mentioned, Chlorine Bush announced their exit from BioWare just last week, saying they left by their choice, right? That they left on their own. We've heard that before. Oh, I didn't get fired. I left on my own. No, the writing's on the wall. The writing is on the wall. They left because this failed. People tuned out in droves to Dragon Age. It underperformed by like 50%. Chlorine Bush was shipped out because they didn't do their job. Now, there's an EA Q3 earnings call coming up early February, where I'm sure we're going to learn more about this restructuring. We're going to learn about some details. And if people are going to get fired, that's going to be the day. So we're just a couple of days away. This is going to be doomsday. We'll see what happens here, guys. Is the Edmonton office going to be closing down soon? Whew. Once you go woke, you go broke. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll see you in the next.